We're learning about our greatness, yes? Okay. Last week, we talked about how we might learn to grow. And I actually gave you guys some tools. Did anyone do the meditation and the journaling and then create an affirmation after the journaling for their day? Oh, go ahead. Put your hand in the air if you did. Okay. I did. And it was wonderful. It actually made me aware of the different types of meditations I was having. And they weren't all stellar. Some of them were quite like plowing through the fields. One of my affirmations one day was, "There is life in the bogs." So obviously I was clearing something, yes?
Yes.
My affirmation today is, "My eyes are on the Christ and I follow." So last week we talked a lot about, in order to become great, we actually need to grow to that. And we talked about preparing the soil, taking steps, little tiny steps that would create a different environment, that would create a different space, so that when the time came to plant that seed, that idea, we would be preparing for it, right? So I know that you see the value in this. Okay. Little steps we can take toward greatness without ever knowing where. Little steps, they prepare us. It creates fertile soil for the Spirit to work in. Me and my spirit can then define my journey. I am prepared. Now, along this way, we take another step. And today we're going to talk about an idea of greatness you might have. Okay, so I'm going to just roll back for a second here. So, does anyone have an idea of greatness that you might want for yourself? And don't you want to be like every 10-year-old child? You want to have it.
Yeah.
Now, I thought it and it is. I thought it and it is. But the reality is we have to be able to hold it, do we not? We have to be able to hold it in our frequency, which is why last week's message was so very important. And it's on YouTube, and it's on our website, and you can listen again. We don't want that, do we? We do not want the time to prepare. But take a breath. You do it one way or the other. All right. So today we're going to talk about the idea of greatness. So for some of us, when we start thinking about the idea of greatness, some of us, it's just simply changing the conditions of our life, isn't it? It's not that you want to go out and do something great. Maybe you just want greater prosperity or greater love or greater freedom, a condition around you. That's still an idea of greatness, isn't it? Because it makes you bigger. For some of us, it is really a goal that we want to accomplish. You know, we want to be on the bestseller list. We want to get that thing written. We want to be out there in the world in a specific way. It doesn't matter what your idea of greatness is. It is important for you. It is great for you. It can be so personal nobody will ever see it, but it is great for you. Is everybody with me? Okay. Greater love, greater prosperity, greater creativity. You can pick any of them, and I'm going to give you more of God's love. That's one of my ideas of greatness for me. I want more God love every day. I want to be able to feel it. In my mind, my heart, I want to respond from it every day. That is my goal. And sometimes when I'm talking with people, I will tell them, now this is just Cindy. Because I know when I'm shifting gears, but Cindy wants to say something, by golly. And when Cindy speaks, it's not always as beautiful and as symmetric and as lovely and harmonious. Sometimes there's a little opinion there. Do you understand? So, but I eventually want to be that God love, that God expression. So I know you remember the affirmation we talked about last week. I know you do. It's actually not an affirmation, it's a metaphysical principle. It's what you learn in the very beginning, and it is what you focus on expands. Have you remembered that this week?
Oh, yes.
Oh, some have. This side's doing really well. Okay. Here's the rest of that. And this is metaphysical review for you, but I hope you're going to hear it on a different level, okay? So what you focus on expands. And then the second part of that is the metaphysical principle, act as if. Now we've created our soil, some of us, from last week, and now we're going to act as if, some embodiment of greatness that we want to experience. We're going to act as if. Okay? Means it's not here yet, but I'm now focusing on this experience. Last week, I'm just growing myself to receive. Now I'm going to focus on this receivership. So, I've gone over the steps of act as if many times. This is review. Does anybody remember the first step? That's okay, I know you don't. The first step is get your gear. Get your gear. You get your gear. What are you going to need for that achievement? You get your gear. The second step is you put on your uniform. You dress like you're going to have it. And the third step is when you begin to act as if. You cannot act as if you don't have your gear and you don't have your uniform. Then you act as if. So I've given you a couple of examples. Let's see that you want greater love in your world. Either you're trying to manifest a mate or you're trying to manifest greater love just in your work world, however. So, Spirit said this, your gear, get your gear, could be a beautiful pendant that kunzite, rose quartz that actually vibrates the vibration of love. That could be your gear. Your gear could be your Bible if you love it, or a metaphysical book that you love. That could be your gear because you're trying to manifest greater love, right? Now, what would your uniform be? You could ask to put on the vibration of love so that you act as love with all. You might stop and look at every single person and see who they are and just identify them. Do you know how many people who work in the mall are never seen? They see 1,000 people a day, but they are never seen. Perhaps we could wear that as our uniform, that we're going to see people. Just pick one thing. It doesn't have to be hard. I'm going to have greater love. I'm going to put on a rose quartz. Of course, I sleep with my Bible, and I'm going to see every person that I meet, and I'm going to see them. I'm going to thank the Starbucks girl, and I'm going to thank the girl I buy from. How about that? That's a good uniform. And in that, I'm acting as if already. Am I not? Okay. All right. I'm going to roll you down prosperity. You know this. What's your gear in prosperity? Your charge card. Your potential to purchase. On greater prosperity. In the old days, a different world existed economically, and I used to carry in my pocketbook a $100 bill because it had power back in the olden days. My son now tells me 200 is the new 100. So if you want to give somebody with 100, put another one in there. But I still only have 100 in my purse. But it gave me the right to decide what I wanted. It gave me the power to purchase. Oh, that's my gear. I want greater prosperity. Now I've got money in my pocketbook because we didn't all live on charge cards back in the day. And now I know if I want something, I can really get it. I can get it. But I make a choice. Do I want, do I not? Sometimes those bills would live in my purse for months before I ever spent it. But I knew I could. Do you see? I got my gear. So now you got your checkbook, you've got your wallet, you've got whatever you've got. That's your gear. That's your potential. What uniform are you going to put on if you want prosperity?
Great walking shoes.
Great walking shoes. Are you? And one of my very favorite shirts is an Interquest shirt. It's purple. I love it dearly. There's holes in it. And there's paint spots on it, and I absolutely adore it. And Patrick keeps saying I should release it to the universe, and it's like, and I can't. But he also will not let me wear it outside. He says, Cindy, you're a minister. Take it off. When you are trying to live and manifest prosperity as greatness, you do want to at least put something on that makes you feel prosperous. Something. And it doesn't have to make anybody else feel prosperous. It just makes you feel prosperous. And then when you walk out that door, you're going to act as if, and you're going to say to yourself, anything can come to me this day I'm ready to receive. Anything. I'm ready to receive prosperity. Anything can come to me. And I have the right to manifest anything, and I can purchase anything. I am in the flow of greater abundance. And I'm going to act as if. Now, the reality is, if you act as if you're prosperous, guess what? You'll look at something in the store and go, I really could pick this up right now. And the minute you say that to yourself starts talking to you, and it says, yeah, but will you read it? I probably won't. I'll probably give it away. Okay, then why are you getting it? leave that for somebody else. Because when you have a choice, you will make that choice. When you feel you do not have something, you will grab anything. Oh, everybody go, okay. All right. When you have a choice, you will make a choice. If you feel you have no choice, you'll grab at stuff, just almost in defiance. So you're really not even choosing. You're just trying to fill something that's a void that's been created. Can you feel that? Yes. Okay, so we get our gear, we put on our uniform, and we act as if. So here's another thing I just thought I'd throw out for you in this world. So what if you want to do a podcast? You might buy a mic for your computer. Get your gear. You might buy a mic for your computer. Now, what kind of uniform would you put on for a podcast? Nobody's going to see you. Perhaps you think about the cyber world and think about that as a uniform. Where are you going to park your podcast? How is it going to be manifested? How is it going to be advertised? Where is it going to be? Maybe that's the uniform. And then you're going to act as if. You're going to start writing down all the ideas of things that you want to do a podcast on. Now, you haven't done a podcast yet, have you? But do you think that if somebody saw you in the world and they said, hey, what you up to? Hey, I'm making some podcasts. Is that the reality? No, it really is. I am making podcasts. I've got my gear, I've got my destination, and I've got my stuff. I am in the process of making podcasts. To Carlin's point, let me just say this. I had an opportunity many years, not that long ago. My mom was on the other side, and she had given me, my mother had crossed. Every year I gave my mother $100, because that was my thing, and a Mother's Day card every year. And so she was on the other side, and so I said, Mom, I'm going to give it to you now. I got a card. There's $100. She said, great, I'll tell you who to give it to. I said, perfect. Carlin, listen up. So, Mother's Day came and went, and my mom, who was on the other side, never gave me the indication to give that card away. It lived in my purse. And every now and then I'd say, Ma, how about the card in my purse? And she'd say, not yet. We were at Brewster's, where Patrick can eat the ice cream, and we went one summer afternoon. And we're sitting outside, and he's enjoying his ice cream, and I see a young lady who is pregnant. She's obviously pregnant, little, 6 months probably, 7, I don't know. And my mom goes, she's the one. And I went, okay. We're in Brewster's in the middle of everybody. And she and her husband were there, and I just said to her, you got a baby in there? And she said, yes, I do. I said, would you mind if I gave you something? And she came and sat down right by me. And I said, explained about my mother being on the other side, and I said, my mother wants me to give you this card. And she started crying immediately when she saw it was a Mother's Day card. Because you know what happened to her on Mother's Day? Her mother told her, you are not a mother yet, because that baby is not born. And it had hurt her deeply, because she was growing the baby. That baby was feeding and growing and moving and kicking. Carlin, she was a mom. She was already a mom. And then she opened the card and the little gift, and I don't know if that meant anything. She said, I'm going to buy something for the baby. That's great. And we all had a great little chat and talk, and my mom was so happy because my mother knew who that card needed to go to. When you are in the process of acting as if, do not let anyone tell you you are not there yet. Because you are. You're there. You're just getting it. You're just getting it. So you're in the process of it. Can everybody claim that? I'm going to claim my greatness. Act as if and claim it. This is who I am. I'm defining myself as this. This is who I am. All right. I wasn't going to tell that story.
I'm glad you did.
Okay. All right. Acting as if. Okay, so in the last week's stories where we talked about you needed to grow your consciousness, now we're talking about acting as if also means that you need to, it makes the growth easier. If we're focused and we're buying our gear and we're getting out there and we're getting our head on and we're acting as if, that makes that growth time easier because we now have a focus. Everybody got it? Yeah. Okay. Next one. So you guys should be really happy right now. You really happy about everything I've said? Yeah. You can have anything you want. Woohoo! Seriously. Excitement. Okay.
Right.
Why do you want what you want? You have to ask yourself that. Why do you want what you want? What is the value? What is the value of what you're experiencing? So, everything that you experience has a spiritual lesson, and every lesson is a blessing once it's understood. Even the challenges, even the things that we've gone through, and I'm going to ask you all to think with me very clearly, please. When you were asleep and you thought that mankind could tell you what to do, the lessons you experienced then were harsher because you did not remember you could choose. Now that we wake up to the reality that we're God's child, we can choose the degree of intensity of our lessons. We get to choose. So we can choose gentle and easy. We can choose, hit me hard, hit me fast. How many have done that? It hurts. We can choose slow burn. I want a slow burn. We can choose. And every lesson that we choose has a blessing. Even if we end up brokenhearted in the end, we've learned something fabulous. Take a breath. I wanted to share with you Jesus Teacher Healer. Let's see if I can get this. They're talking about your lessons in the daily experiences. It is in the daily experiences and in the tests of every day that you learn to control the kingdom of yourself. You achieve mastery over the physical body, the mental body, and the astral body, so that instead of your bodies just being a mass of jumbled color and vibration, there's a good picture for you.
There you go.
Instead of looking like we most of the time do look, they will become orderly, working in perfect rhythm and harmony, each responding to the spiritual plane of being to which it belongs. We will grow harmonious bodies. Enjoy life. Be good. Be God. God would have you enjoy the gifts and the fruits of the earth and all the beauties of the earth. Enjoy this life, but while you are in this life, do not forget your spirit and spiritual energies all around you. You are body, mind, emotion, astral. You are all these things, causal energies. When you can harmonize all of the aspects of you into that spiritual connection, then life here becomes easy. Does this make sense? All right. Thank you. Jesus Teacher Healer. All right. In the Gentle Brother, it says this. We would have you remember that it is within the power of God's Son, us, to create form by thought. The power is in you. It's in all people. Sometimes the thought forms are the result of careless or negative thoughts, which create form which has little use. But God thought the right thought enters the perfect form, and you can create what you choose. Breathe that in. We are becoming great. There is a spiritual lesson in everything that we do. And what does a spiritual lesson look like? If we're learning prosperity, what are we learning? Receiving. We're also learning power. We're learning creativity. We're learning choice. We're learning a lot, aren't we? We might also be learning generosity. Maybe you want to be uber wealthy. We're also learning all kinds of things. What if we want to learn about love? Perhaps we're learning cooperation. Perhaps we're learning harmony, acceptance, allowing. Power, self, health, life, and worth. You will learn all of those things in the spiritual lessons. So I want you to think with me for a moment. Imagine a classroom of, let's make them first or second graders, okay? And imagine the teacher guides them, and they start looking at the teacher. You know, first and second graders, they'll look at the teacher and they'll go, okay, I need to do what you ask. Well, imagine those little children begin to look at each other and go, no, that's not right, you need to do this different. And someone else says, no, I don't like what you're wearing, you need to do this different. And blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, nobody's listening to the teacher any longer. How's that classroom going to look? Welcome to your world. This is what we've created on planet Earth. We've created a world of a bunch of children telling each other what to do. And we're forgetting to turn to Spirit. We're forgetting to turn to our Creator. And why did I come here in the first place, God? I forgot. And what's my next step? I forgot. Opening up to breathe and bring in that connection of Spirit. Because all the things we're talking about now, embracing our greatness, where's the greatness coming from? Within you. It's the divinity within you seeking to express the divine within you. And if it's the divinity within you, how can we even accomplish it without aligning with the divine? And if you think, I'm going through this little lesson at my office because my arc field needs some healing. That'd be a good thought, wouldn't it? My mental body's all messed up, so I'm going to argue with you, but I'm going to heal it, and then I'm going to, okay, yeah, I'm healing my mental body. When you're having moments, stop and ask, what am I really doing? And what is the blessing that's going to come from this? What is the blessing that's coming from this? All right. I've had young people, I've been here a while, and seen so many changes. I never thought I'd see as many changes as I've seen. And I counsel young people, and it's not uncommon for a young person to say to me, because I counsel more than you, most of my clients are not metaphysical Christians, because they don't get metaphysics in their church, so they come to us for that. So a lot of my young people will say to me, I want to be an influencer. And I went, what's an influencer? I had no idea. And this is what they said. I want to influence people. And I said, but how, about what? And they said, it doesn't matter, whatever. And I said, you want to influence people about just whatever? And they said, yeah, I just want to influence people about whatever. And I said, why? And they said, because then people will pay me to be myself. Oh. Because apparently that's what an influencer does. They do a bunch of podcasts about whatever they want, and they get people to follow them, people like them, and then they whatever. And I went, that's very interesting, because what I know to be true is this. The universe will pay you to be yourself. Whatever you need to do, whatever you need to experience, whatever you want, you don't need a podcast to get support. The universe will bring all the support you need to go out and be that, to be that. So you can all be influencers in your world and in your life. The universe will support you and pay you to be you. But what do you have to do? You have to align with the divine. You have to align with that greater power. All right. So today we're talking about be different to create different. We talked about ideas of greatness to embody. We talked about get your gear. Get your gear. Get your uniform. Act as if. Get your gear, get your uniform, and act as if. And so these are so simple steps, such simple steps. If you are not doing the soil preparing every day, how long do you think you're going to get your gear and act as if? You're going to be putting on that uniform till it's worn out, because it's going to be a slower process. It's not that you're not getting there. You are getting there. But when you have the soil prepared and you're doing this, then you have that trajectory strong and solid and steady. I wanted to share with you this, and I shared with you before, but my brother, passed March 31st. It seems like forever ago. And when he crossed, he's a year younger than I am. And when he crossed, it was very clear to me that, he had given his life away years ago to the medical profession. And I sat with the energy of watching him and, praying with him and holding his hand and feeling his energy. And I was so crystal clear. I'm going to claim my life. I'm not going to let anyone take it from me. No person, no idea, no one's going to take my life from me. I'm going to claim it. And that was my first very clear, deep DNA, cellular wake-up call that it's not okay anymore. It's just not okay. And you know me, I'll do anything for anybody. but now I have to claim my life. It's not okay. So I went out and I was crying and shopping and blah, blah, blah. And I saw this piece I wanted to share with you. I will probably not wear it often because it's very casual. And it's a little heavy for the summer, and it is not my color. But I saw this piece hanging in the store. It's a little wrap, and it is orange. Can you guys see?
Yeah.
And I thought it was my brother. It's like, oh my God, this is me and my brother's energy. It's what we shared in childhood. And I wrestled with it, but I bought it. And like I said, I can't wear it often just because of the nature of what it is. But I look at it all the time. It hangs in my closet, and I see it every day. And when I see it, I claim my life. I claim my life. And those days I wear it, get out the way. Because it's going to be all about Cindy. It's going to be all about who I am and what I'm doing, you know? So this uniform may not be an everyday thing, but it is definitely a part of a bigger greatness that I want to own. My life, my reality, my truth. And since that moment, it's only been a few months, since that moment when I tell people what crazy things I'm up to, and I'm up to quite a few, I really don't care what the response is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to come back with wild and crazy stories from my next upcoming mission from God. And I will share them freely, because it doesn't matter. Claiming your greatness is the way for you to expand in a safe and loving environment. You don't have to prove anything. You just have to ask and be willing to receive. Be willing to receive. And the little act as if formula I gave you helps you be different, to create different. Be different, to create different. All right. We were spiritually born to have these experiences on this planet, so I will leave you with this thought. We're children of God. Do you think this is the last place we will ever live? What if we need to go to another place, another existence, and another planet or another dimension, and God needs his children to be able to pay attention and stay connected while they do his work? Well, this is the place where you learn what disconnection feels like. And you learn how to stay connected, how to reconnect and stay there. And that's part of this journey, this lifetime. So I know we will all graduate. I know we will all be stellar, but we're all in the journey at the moment. So why don't we act as if? All right, put your feet on the floor. Father, Mother God, I just love you. And I ask that joyful love of life just move into this room. The joyful love of being able to expand and grow and be alive, just move into this room. And I ask that a column of light, a beautiful column of light, come over each person. And I want you to just begin to see a color engulfing you and begin to feel the wonder of that color, the wonder of God. Where there is wonder, there is God. And just begin to feel the love. And for this moment in time, I want you to realize there's nothing that you have to do. And let's just take a deep breath in and feel the love of God going into every cell of your body. I am a child of God. I am open to my greater beingness. And I let your love flow, God, through all that I am. And as you feel the love flow, just feel it going through the physical body, the emotional body, spiritual body, to the entirety of your field. I am in harmony with God's love. And I flow that love now. And God, we thank you. Feel the column of light. Feel the peace all around you. Just gently let your focus come back to your chair. But before you open your eyes, just feel the presence of Jesus Christ with you. Feel him take you by the hand. And just feel him say, I got you. I got you. And we thank you, God. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. All right, well, I know you learned a lot today. Now, here's your homework. And I hope you all will do this. Sunday, next week, will you consider putting on a uniform of something and consciously wear it? And nobody will know what you're creating. But think about something that you want to move into your greatness. And I know you're going to get your gear this week, but I want you to dress next week if you can. And you know, that may be jeans and flip-flops because that's the uniform for what you're doing. Who knows? We don't care. But maybe if we could consciously as a group just adorn ourselves in a way that reflects some greatness that we're seeking to achieve. Would that be fun? Mm-hmm. How many are willing to do it? I want to see hands in the air. Oh, okay. I'm holding you to it. All right. Yay, God.